Gosh, that is so passive aggressive, I don't know why. Moral may as well just be a different show that just has one season. It has three seasons and a prequel. The first season is basically the same thing. Laurel gets bad advice from Clay or Cuddy, usually both, I think, and takes it so far he messes it up on shitty assumptions. For example, getting a bunch of ladies pomegranate because he didn't want to waste his seat or something. Season 2 starts showing the cracks in the show's formula, like Oral beating his dad because his dad told him to stand up to his bullies to the guys that bitch about God. And season 3 starts with Clay shooting Oral, and the rest of the season has something to do with what everybody else was doing during the trip. A backstory for the rest of the cast, or the consequences of what happened right after involving the Puppingtons, like how Alone takes place during the trip and Dumb takes right after the trip, I think. Now, since this is my first review but not my first yap session, I decided to make a brief summary on episodes from each season, the ones I like first, then my least favorites, characters I love and why, characters I don't like, and then I'll just have a bunch of miscellaneous points near the end. I know this is a poorly constructed review, but I have so many poorly made videos that I'm surprised get that much amount of views. So, yeah. Okay, so for season 1, I like the Blessed Union. Stephanie is first introduced here. I also like Omnipresent. I just like the part where Clay tells Oral that the God inside of him, I think the Holy Spirit, isn't enough to kill a random woman and that the dead woman should have just suffered. And finally, there's the best Christmas ever. It's just art. Just watch it. It's beautiful. Okay, so for season 2, I love. Bartholomew deserved better. I also like Oral's movie premiere because this line,
"I'm here, Oral, while you're pulling your pants up from my spanking."
Is his dad molesting him?
it's the best one. God's Blunders is also a cool episode. The kids hiding science books away was a pretty funny gag, not gonna lie. Be Fruitful and Multiply is cute. I love Reverend Putty and Stephanie, so I guess that's why.
Prancing
I also like
gaily
school
on the
pageants and
water.
Will
Along here,
Woodley.
scrawny claw.
Finally, we cannot forget about Nature Part 1 and Part 2. I know I said it started with Season 3, but it's probably because it's the most dramatic tonal shift. So please forgive me. I correct my mistakes. And yeah, Nature Part 1 and Part 2 are based. The way Clay breaks down at the end with his ramblings is just beautiful. I don't want to get into a rant about my whole life and mental health, but I'm surprised how realistic the rants are, and without me having to talk about my experiences, um, the way Kool-Aid was waking up from his hangover like nothing ever happened, it just hit too close to home, man. Just damn. Oh, yeah, and for season 3, Grounded was an experience. The lucid background in which Oral thinks is heaven was one of the moments of all time. It's cool, but I liked Innocence a lot better. I only put it here because it's a prequel. Wait, then final? They finally broke the formula of moral oral, and it's just so satisfying since I started from season 1. I love Dumb. Never expected to like Joey so much, but it's cool. Honor was such a good way to end the series. I know there was meant to be 5 seasons, but how much longer could you extend the story without it just not having a focus? Okay, now for episodes I don't like for all seasons. The one where Oral drinks his pee. Just note that I am recording this, so I need to whisper in this part. Why, well, duh. Pleasures. I, I can't if you watch this. And finally, Numb. I know this one is well written. I just don't like the sentences with the doctor because despite writing what addiction is and what it can do to people, it's just that the subject itself is icky and I was dreading recording this part. The scene where Roberta wants to have an affair with a doctor and then he kicks her out is just bone chilling. Bone chilling. I also hate recording this part. Alright, much more innocent part to record. Characters I love. I love Reverend Putty. He may just be my favorite character in the show. Something about his humor just hits. Speaking of which, Stephanie is also really cool. She's just so wholesome. I love Clay as a villain. I mean, that monologue is just damn. And Oral, of course, finally Miss Second Opinion. I know she was there for like, I think 2 minutes, but still, she's cool.
This is a rant about my least favorite moral oral character, Coach Stop Frame. I'm using text to speech to be shorter. So I know I've missed the episode Satan because it wasn't in the playlist I was pirating this from. Why I dislike him is because first off, how does having an illegitimate child help you get closer to the dad? Second of all, they never called him out. I was listening to some video essays about this show. Even in Satan, they didn't call him out. In fact, it was meant to show how obsessive he was of Clay. If Moral Oral gets extra seasons like Clone High and I decide to call him out, I'll like him more, but for now, he's my least favorite character in this show.
And as for miscellaneous points, literally any egg scene in the show ruins an episode for me.
Well, this disease is defined by its treatment. You people make me sick.
I'm surprised I managed to sit through Masquerade, but not alone. And finally, I watched Edgyness, which is the last episode. I wish there was more Dewey in this show. And before Oral, I think gave me a virus resetting all my speed paints on Ibis Paint. So that's a 0 out of 10 by default. In conclusion, I love the show.
Music make you lose control.